I think social media is like Ambien, Sherry. It's the Ambien of connection. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You and I have some experience with Ambien. We've never taken it, but we have a family member who has, and we know a little bit about it. And I've read articles and heard Laura McCowan talk about it. Ambien is great if you want to be knocked out and be unconscious, but it's not great for restorative sleep. In fact, my mom took Ambien for 20 some years, right? And some of the experts say she never really slept truly restorative. And I don't understand all the REM sleep and there's other terms for the different parts of sleep, but she didn't get the sleep she should have gotten for that whole 20 years, according to the experts. So Ambien will knock you out, but it's not restorative sleep. And that's what social media is in terms of connection, if you ask me. Listen, technology is great. The fact that we are connected in the ways that we are is great. You know, we're putting this video out on the internet. It'll be on social media. So it's not that we're against this form of communication, but it's like connection light or something.
So it's like Ambien gives you sleep, but not good sleep.
It gives you unconsciousness, but not good sleep.
Social media gives you connection, but not the good kind.
Yeah,
not the real, like, valuable, heart healthy, mind, connection
that leaves you fulfilled.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta go out and get that somewhere else.
Think about what to say.
You gotta.
I know what I mean. Like, okay, now I get it. So it's like crappy, but sleep.
Like I sit on the toilet and send you videos of cats I find.
Yeah.
Right, and you enjoy that, but it's not the same as having a conversation with me.
But because you don't want to talk about cats.
I often prefer the cat videos.
But you often don't want to talk about cats.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
Bill Von Hippel is an evolutionary psychologist that I heard on a podcast, and I've been quoting him for a couple of weeks now. He talks about the fact that people who go to church studies have shown that people that go to church are twice as happy as people that don't. And what's really interesting about this research is it cuts across different religions, different denominations within the Christian faith. It really doesn't have anything to do with the doctrine. It doesn't have anything to do with what's being said in the church service. It's just the fact that people that gather that way in community and spend time together and connect and converse before and after and during, they're more happy than people who don't. I believe them. I think those studies are spot on. I question a lot of behavioral health studies, but I think there's some fact to this one.
Well, with a last name like that, you can't.
Bill Von Hippel? Well, last name Von Hippel.
That's a great name.
He's from Queensland or something, I think.
I had not heard that. Obviously, he did not study the people that work at a church.
Yeah. The workers are not necessarily twice as happy?
Maybe you're not twice as happy.
But I believe the fact that connection is so important. And you don't have to go to church to get it. You can get it somewhere else. But one of the things that's really common, you and I have seen it, we've talked to many people who experience this, when you're no longer going and sitting on a bar stool or going to a club or whatever your nightlife thing was, it's a lot harder in sobriety to find connection than it is as a drinker. Now, you got to work for it a little bit. One of the things you and I have done is we've done swing dance lessons and then, just done swing dancing. And that's a great environment. There's not a lot of drinking going on. The couple of different places where we've done swing dancing, there's not a lot of drinking going on. So it's a pretty good environment for a sober person. But, you gotta get out there. You're tired at the end of a long week. I think one of the places we went was Friday nights and one was Sundays. And you got to set aside the time to go do it. You've got kids and home responsibilities on the weekend and whatever your life looks like. And it's super easy to make excuses. But that's one of the things we've done. We also, in some of our groups, we talked about this week. And let's see, what were some of the things that people said that they do for connection not related to alcohol?
Well, one woman tried out for a local theater group, and she and her sister were both acting in that.
That's great.
One of the other people are doing jazz choir, which is not just a choir, but it's a movement.
Yeah, is jazz choir, show choir, is that the same thing?
Show choir, yeah. I think it was jazz hands. That's what I kept thinking.
I love it.
Yeah, other people like do like there was snowmobiling. Like they have a group of people that they go snowmobiling with, and there isn't a lot of drinking that's partaken there because you're working a big machine and it can be dangerous.
There's also an organization called Phoenix that is intended for sober people to come in community together around some kind of athletic or outdoor activity. They do hiking and they do boxing and they do rock climbing and bike riding and running and all kinds of stuff. And Phoenix is nationwide in the United States. It's got pockets where it's really, really, there's a lot of stuff going on, and pockets where there's not. It's still in growth mode. But that'd be something to check out.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to work harder.
Yeah, and I think as adults we kind of can make excuses and we can find ways to get out of doing things. And I don't know exactly when, but it has been like, I think, evolutionary wise, and maybe the household you grew up in. Like I remember my mom would sometimes be very social with one or two friends. Like it was kind of an every other Friday thing. They would come and hang out with their kids, and then we would go roller skating the other Friday night. But then I think she just kind of went to a slump and like stopped being more social. She was like on a softball league, and I think as we age, we have a tendency to kind of slow down, which is normal when you hit your late 40s, early 50s, and you're kind of doing the teenager thing and you're taking care of your elderly parents. But I think you kind of have to push through that and push through some of the anxiety and nervousness about going and trying new things.
Yeah.
Because I think that then you like shut down and then you do rely on your social media as some sort of connection, but it's not the real emotional connection, and that, person to person being close, your energy and my energy, you're feeding off of each other.
There's a lot going on in our subconscious, that energy piece. We're going to learn about that in the coming decades, but there's a lot going on that we don't understand, that it makes that in-person connection super important. Totally agree. And it is hard. And, I think because we do have the social media connection, we feel like, oh, I am in touch with so-and-so. Why do I need to see them in person? I just texted with them earlier this week. I just saw their Facebook post. I just saw their Instagram, whatever. So I already know what's going on. But there's no reliable substitute for in-person connection. So go out and do something. Go out and join something. A lot of people make fun of people who have been in AA for 20 years and they still go to their weekly or their daily meeting and they tell the same stories over and over again and see the same people. And I used to be one of those people. I used to say, I don't understand. Shoot me if I'm 20 years sober and I'm still going to the same AA meeting and having the same conversations. I don't feel that way at all now. I get it. The reason people keep going back in that particular scenario is those are their friends. That's their connection. It doesn't matter what they talk about. It matters that they're in the same room together and enjoying each other's company. And they might not even understand why it's important to them. They just feel the pull to go and they keep going. And I say more power to them. So that 20-year-old attending AA old timer that gets a lot of flack, instead of thinking there's something wrong with them, now I look up to them. I admire that consistency and that dedication. So yeah. We need connection.
I'd be interested if any of our viewers would put a comment on what they do for something fun and different.
Yeah, we got any show choir people?
Yeah. And like I saw on, I think it's a social media page, but it's like next door. I saw a post on there recently. Someone just moved to town. They, it didn't necessarily say why they were single. They were 40 years old, single, working from home and part-time in the office, so not a lot of connection, but just wanted somebody in their neighborhood to connect with, and they wanted to do something sober.
Yeah.
So, and then when I am driving past our park to go to work, and I see pockets of friends walking, or when my friend Tracy and I walk and we see the same group of people, like these, I'm like, that is great. You have to be committed. And you have to put yourself out there. Find
someone to harvest chickens with, or to randomly go into neighbors' yards and dig up their mums and plant them in your yard.
What?
Just find people to do things with. It's really great. It's good for our mental health. If you'd like to hear more of our opinionated ramblings, we hope you'll check out the Untoxicated podcast.
Oh my goodness. Digging up somebody else's moms. That's pretty good. And if you're more of the reading type, go to soberandunashamed.com.
If you're picking up what we're laying down, please check out echoesofrecovery.org or shoutsobriety.org. We get what you're going through. You've got this, and we've got you.